Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sponsorship Talk with Roberta Vigilance. I'm Roberta Vigilance. Please remember to subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast so that this podcast can grow on this platform. Now, let's talk sponsorship. Today's guest is Ms. Valerie Wynter-Wilson. Ms. Valerie is an event sponsor. Let's welcome Ms. Valerie. Ms. Valerie, welcome.
Thank you so much, Roberta. It's so great to be here. My first time on your program. I am so excited for the very first
Thank you.
time.
Thank
Yes.
you for being here. Absolutely. So, Ms. Valerie, please let us know about the event that you have sponsored or you are sponsoring. Please let us know the name and you can tell us about that event, please.
Sure. Well, the latest event that I'm sponsoring is our church has event that we do annually, and that's our Thanksgiving. Um, a lot of times we cook a hot meal from the everything from soups to nuts, everything that we ourselves would have for our own family. I would cook it, buy the food, cook it along with my staff, and we would take it to the church and just feed the community. And basically, Roberta, I began doing that many years ago because I noticed that there were a lot of people in the community that at this Thanksgiving time did not have family members to spend time with. And as I'm talking, I'm remembering particularly a young man that came to the dinner with his son. And he was so grateful because if we did not have that dinner that day, him and his son would not have had any type of Thanksgiving. So I thank God that He allows me to sponsor those type of events. Besides doing that particular sponsorship through the church, I also like to sponsor traveling ministers that are going, let's say, to Africa or going on medical missions in the Caribbeans and very other countries. God has placed in my heart to be a helper and to be a giver. So it's something that comes natural.
Got it. So let us know why you decide to sponsor the events that you have sponsored and why you are passionate, it sounds like, or mission driven or purpose driven towards sponsoring those types of events. And I wish I knew because I had a colleague who she went to Africa as a chaperone. She does a lot for the community as well. And this is one of the things she paid out of her own pocket, and she was seeking sponsorship to offset the cost of it.
Yes.
But I didn't know that that was something that was dear to your heart because I would have asked. Now, please let us know why you sponsored those type of events. What do you look for in exchange for those type of sponsorship?
That's a good question, Roberta. The reason why I sponsor those type of events, as I said, I have a heart to help. And what I love about sponsoring events like that is that I know that when the event is finished, the greatest joy that I have is to know that I left a family or individual. Sometimes I help other businesses to get established, and I left them in a better place than how I found them. So that is very important to me. It's not the investment of the money or the time, but the fact that I was able to help them, in other words, give a leg up to accomplish their goal.
We need that more so than ever, and people take it for granted. Sometimes you just have a bad moment and you need someone to say, hey, I'm here to support you here. I will be your family when you don't have any family. So we often forget that those types of events that makes you feel seen and makes you feel special and even feed you when you're really hungry, we often forget that those types of events are still needed today and still need sponsorship because it's difficult, especially when you are a solo person and you're working the 9 to 5 and you don't necessarily have the additional budget to do what you want to do, feed the community, make people feel special, like you really don't have it. So bringing in a sponsor, looking for individuals who are, these types of events are close to their hearts. Those things are very important. And I'm glad that you are doing that. Again, because whether you are saving a life or saving lives, it's very much appreciated. So we don't take what you're doing for granted. And I wish more individuals and even more brands will come aboard and sponsor these types of events. Sometimes, and I've said this in my book, How to Secure Sponsors Successfully, it's not always about money. Sometimes sponsors fund events because the event is close to their heart, whether it's cancer, whether it's hunger, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I thank you so much for being a sponsor, for sponsoring these types of events. You're one person in the world that a person can sleep sound, at least for one night or 2 nights, um, or even more. So my question to you is, do you have a business? Or if you don't, please tell us about yourself. Like what brought you to this point to become a sponsor, a sponsor of these kinds of those kinds of events.
Yes. Well, yes, I do have a business. I'm in the financial service field now. I'm also a minister, so that's a part of what I do. That's my main calling. But the good part about it is that the business that I have mashes in with the calling that God has given me. And when I say that, is that though it's a business in financial services, educating uh, people about their finances, how to stretch the dollar a little bit further, because we teach them how to budget, we teach them how to save, how to invest, how to plan for retirement, and also for that time when they may not be here, they will transition and they leave loved ones behind. So, that I believe is a community event as well. People need to be educated concerning these concepts because let's face it, Roberta, we were not taught these concepts in school. The majority of us about how money works. We've learned from the School of Hard Knocks, where we spend a little bit more than we should have, and we found ourselves in a hole. And that's another problem that I see because I am in ministry as well, that
Mhm.
you'll have people that not only come for food, but they need money to pay their light bill or their gas bill, even their rent.
Mhm.
Sometimes they need a new apartment and they just don't have the resources. So, as I said, this is a financial ministry as well as a business fund for myself. And I enjoy doing it, sharing the concepts and helping people, and once again, putting them in a better situation than they were before, and training them about money and how to utilize it properly.
There's this saying that I heard growing up, since you have to rob Peter to pay Paul, and what that means is that today's system, the way that the pay wages are, and I don't want to get into, because we know it's not something that we should pretend it doesn't exist. So a person can fall flat on their face for many reasons, right?
Yeah.
The rent, in the city at times is it's just so high that you literally need 2, 3, 4 jobs. And it's not about being lazy, you don't want to work. It's about, if you have to take care of a family, how can you spend time taking care of a family when you're always at work? So the system is totally off. And what you're seeing it on both sides. You're seeing the problem, and then now you know the solution, and then you are the solution. You're being part of it. But I understand that it takes a village, right? You yourself might need sponsors, so you can reach out to more
Exactly.
individuals, right? So
Exactly.
I totally get it. I totally understand, and I know you're very busy. And I thank you for coming on and joining us today and just sharing your part, that you're doing your part. Again, I really thank you. I know you're busy, or else you would have came on screen and all of that good stuff. Um, I really appreciate your time. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us?
Sure. I just like to share that in sponsorship, I am in need of sponsors because I'd like to get this information out to the community about the financial uh, literacy, wellness piece. And it takes resources to do that, whether they have a pop up space that we can utilize, uh, money to buy materials, to distribute, and so forth. So that I would definitely like to do, and anyone that I could help on a personal level. The holidays are coming up once again, and I have found over the years, Roberta, that this can be a very tough time for many people.
Mhm.
Many people are suicidal because they don't have families, or they become depressed because they feel they should have more finances to buy things that they can't afford to buy, and this makes them depressed. So I would encourage them, look out for your neighbor. If you could be a source of help, give an extra $10 for maybe an individual that they can get a little something. I know $10 may not go far today, but it may feed someone for that hour that day. You don't know what that individual is going through. Share a kind word. Let them know that you're thinking about them. Think about the elderly as well. Sometimes this can be a very rough time. I know a couple of years ago we got a call to our ministry that a lady 103 years old needed food for Thanksgiving. She had a caregiver, and they called, and we were able to provide that for them. So I suggest support where you can. There are a lot of hurting people. This is tough times for people, but be there for them as much as you can.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you so much. I am in total agreement with you. And I'm sure that as time goes on, that you will be able to have a sponsorship partner within to assist you with what you're doing. And whether a sponsor does something for intangible benefits or tangible benefits, it is about helping a community grow and thrive. And that comes it comes in different ways. How a community can thrive. Education is one of them. Um, Financial literacy, to be specific,
Yeah.
it could be feeding the community. So again, I'm glad that you are out there sponsoring events, and I believe that you will be able to get a sponsorship partner to expand on what you are doing. Um, Well, I thank you again, Ms. Valerie, for this evening, for joining us. And again, everyone, please do share this podcast, subscribe to this podcast so we can grow and reach more people. And take care. Happy sponsorship, everyone.
And thank you for having me, Roberta. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Valerie. That's right.
You're
Thank you. Okay.